Greetings, bidding all immense peace and unlimited blessings. I am Nana Yaa, coming to you from Accra, Ghana. I was born in Ghana, though I am a member of the diaspora. Both of my parents were born in the U.S. Black lives do matter, in all places, on all continents, and in every time and space. The message to you today concerns the special few of you, members of the diaspora, who have or will make that journey to the continent of Africa, specifically Ghana. Unprecedented actions on behalf of the Ghanaian government have occurred through the diligence, ingenuity, and dedication of the two presenters from whom we are about to hear, Dr. Obadeli Kambon and Dr. Maulana Maulana. Through many attempts at collaboration among diaspora leaders, finally Dr. Maulana was able to go full steam ahead to begin the process of bringing Ghanaian citizenship to the African diaspora. In 2016, under the auspices of then His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama and his Executive Secretary, Ambassador Ni Kwesi Kwartey, 34 long-awaited Ghanaian citizenships were granted to members of the African diaspora. Through the efforts of Dr. Maulana and Dr. Kambon, working under the umbrella of the African Studies Department at the University of Ghana, Legon, meetings brought to fruition a document which was then presented to the former President John Mahama. Said document requested that we, the diaspora, have Ghanaian citizenship bestowed upon us based on the transatlantic slave trade. That many of us who reside in Ghana are retirees infusing Ghana's economy with millions of dollars per year, and that finally we are the descendants of Ghanaians' ancestors, as are continental Ghanaians. Through these efforts and subsequent letters to the office of the President, our plight resonated with those in positions of power, and as a result, Drs. Obadeli Kambon and Maulana Maulana were responsible for the first batch of diaspora having been granted Ghanaian citizenship based on our special circumstances as returnees. Then again, in November of 2019, the Honorable Nana Akufo-Addo, Ghana's current president, stepped up the stakes, honoring a total of 126 members of the diaspora with their citizenship, still led by Drs. Maulana and Kambon, but this time others within the diaspora community of Ghana lent their aid to the cause. We are united in our vision to empower, legitimize, and bring a sense of home and purpose to the diaspora community wishing to come home and build our nation. Here are Drs. Maulana and Kambon. Please listen to them as they give us the full picture.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. This is Dr. Maulana Maulana. I would like to thank, first of all, our dear sister, Nana Yaa, for giving such a elaborate introduction and eloquence. We are here today to try to set the record in its proper perspective. I guess you can say that we're here today to have a reality check of how Africans of the diaspora have been able to convince the government of Ghana. And mind you, Ghana government is the only government, the first government on the continent of Africa that is sensitized to give Africans, when I say Africans, let's be clear about who we're talking about. We're talking about descendants of the 400 years transatlantic slave trade. Ghana is the first country that has recognized us as that and felt that it was a moral. We have brought it to the attention of government over the years. It's been a collective effort of those of us in the diaspora who are living in Ghana that government should be sensitized to the fact of our plight, who we were kidnapped from here, taken to the Americas, scattered throughout the Caribbean, South America, and so it's a moral issue. And this is where I, being the founder of Ministry of the Future, and the genesis of Ministry of the Future was predicated upon trying to get government and Ghanaians and Africans of the diaspora to understand the dynamics of the plight that we are suffering. And I found no better than ever is to go to Dr. Obadeli Kambon, at the University of Ghana, Institute of African Studies, Legon. And Doc was very amicable and open that we should use his particular platform, conference room, office, to build an infrastructure of Ministry of the Future and to endeavor in bringing our people home. And so from there, we began around 2015 in the month of June. We brought a group in from the University of California, Long Beach. We sensitized them under Dr. Booker of her class. We sensitized that group to the plight that we are having. And also, they came in with fresh information about Black lives that matters and sensitized us to the problems that African Americans in particular are suffering in the United States. And I think they said a Black male was being killed about every so many minutes throughout the United States. I couldn't believe it. So Dr. Kambon and I, we endeavored to actually intensify the effort of getting our people back to Africa. And God and the Creator, if you will, the ancestors, if you will, being so merciful, I had a friend, a contact, in the office of the President. That is the Honorable Ni Kwesi Quartet. And it just so happened he was appointed the Executive Director, Executive Secretary to the Office of the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. And so therefore, what better place than us to take our particular requests right to the office of the highest office in the land. And it just so happened, and I want to say this, that this particular president actually knew me before I arrived. I did not know that he had been accessing some of the works that I'd been doing on TV Africa and the educational outreach program that I had for 17 consecutive years at the Du Bois Center. And so therefore, it was virtually a done deal with the head of state and with the assistance of the executive secretary. So Dr. Kambon and I continued at his office on that platform because it's extremely important. Africans of the diaspora must understand the educational outreach development. It's very important for Africans of the diaspora to have continuity and an ongoing process of that, because you have to know, being in the diaspora doesn't give you an entitlement in the African's mind just because you say you are Black to come back to Africa and be accepted. You know, Blackness in Africa is not so much as the essence of one's philosophy, because everybody here is virtually Black. So Black has a deeper meaning, deeper than the color itself. It becomes philosophically an ideological understanding of who we are as a people. And the bottom line is that we are one, and we were separated. We were separated by unusual circumstances that I mentioned a moment ago. So this, in the educational outreach program at the Institute of African Studies, was key, extremely key, in instilling in the minds of Ghanaians. And the mix in the audience were Africans of the diaspora. How all of this came about. And so we were able enough on the 28th of December, 2016, it was a done deal where His Excellency John Dramani Mahama granted 34 citizenship to Africans of the diaspora. And there could have been more if our people had believed and accepted the request that Ministry of the Future had given them. But nevertheless, what was important about this ceremony on the 28th of December, 2016, that the head of state then, he set the stage and said, I am not giving you anything in citizenship. You already were a citizen of this continent. I am giving you your right that was taken away from you.
I have the honor and privilege to restore to you your full rights as Ghanaian and African citizens. And let me say, in doing this, I deserve no thanks or praise, because I'm giving back to you what rightfully belonged to you.
So out of that has come the right to return. Ghana has given the Africans of the diaspora the right to return. And I must say, before closing on this particular delivery, the right of return of 2016 has given impotence to the year of return in 2019. Thank you.
All right. And Dr. Maulana, I recall, very fondly back in June of 2015, just as you mentioned, Dr. Beverly Booker, she brought in her group of students and we dealt with Black Lives Matter and then also xenophobia in Africa to tie all of these things together on a global scale. So that was very important. But then I also remember that we had a function in September on Founders Day where both you and I were speakers, where we were also dealing with some of these exact same issues. And we came to the idea of why do we have to wait for Founders Day? Why does it have to be a yearly thing before we address some of these issues? We said it shouldn't be the case. So with your idea, you said, okay, let's try to do this as a monthly thing, right? And that's exactly what we did at the Institute of African Studies in the Professor Irene K. Odote Senior Common Room. We met on a monthly basis and we brought up some of these various issues, and those videos are still available online for people to see. And that was September is when we had our Founders Day, of course, that's September 21st, Nana Nkrumah's birthday. And then every single month, all the way up until April, I remember very clearly that you invited Honorable Nii Kwesi Kwartey, Executive Secretary to the President, and he came to our very Ministry of the Future meeting that month. And he got a chance to interact with those of the diaspora. And, people told him, we said, you know what? We give so much. We come here to contribute. We're not here begging, asking for alms, but we contribute. All we want is reciprocity. We would like to get citizenship so we don't have to go and renew our visa every, 3 months. We don't have to deal with all these different hurdles and other things. And he heard that, and very clearly he went back to the president and used his influence where, the president was able to take what we had said and take it to heart. So indeed, from the initiative that was started at the Institute of African Studies Ministry of the Future, that's how later on that year in December, we were able to get our citizenship. Now, Dr. Maulana, I'd also like to say that you didn't have to do this because you had your citizenship from 2013. And I will never be on any platform about citizenship without saying that for me, I got the citizenship in 2016, and I would not have gotten citizenship without that happening, without you having made that initial contact with Honorable Nii Kwesi Kwartey. And again, all of this was birthed at the Institute of African Studies. So, they say, Nsakona Nsaba, hand go and hand come. So for me, offering that space at the Institute of African Studies, from there, me, myself, I was able to get citizenship. And then from there, 34 Africans in total were able to get citizenship in 2016. Just as you said, 2019, 126 Africans were able to get citizenship. So again, it's not something that just fell from the sky that now people just want to deal with citizenship. It was directly your contact with the president back in 2015 going into 2016. And all of that has given birth to what is now a movement that is sweeping the continent. Now with the George Floyd situation, continental Africans can see how we're being killed, how we're being subjected to anti-Black genocide. And recently Ghana, in an unprecedented move, as Nana Yaa, stated, is saying that, you know what, we want you to come back. We're opening the doors. We're opening the gates. Come back home. You shouldn't have a knee stuck in your neck where you're killed. You shouldn't be shot all of these times. You shouldn't have all of these things. And it's not just police, it's private citizens. Look at Ahmaud Arbery. Look at what we're subjected to. And the same thing happens. You have Kmtyw Black, a PhD student in Florida, who was shot in the chest, shot in the face. This is a Ghanaian, right? So once Ghanaians and continental Africans throughout are sensitized to what we're going through, now they're saying we're not only opening the doors, but we're going to restore, as His Excellency John Dramani Mahama put it, we're going to restore your citizenship. He said, I'm not giving you anything. I'm restoring your birthright, which is to have citizenship here. So again, when you see Ghana moving forward, right? And, even this year, it may be possible, and, we're keeping not so much, we're not saying so much, but it's possible that even in this year, 2020, we may see more citizenships restored, right, by the president. And then even beyond that, we're looking at policy where we can even shape the policy where it's not just on a presidential mandate, but this should be a thing where any African is not subjected to genocide and being killed and being mistreated, that if we can make Ghanaians understand what we're subjected to, then they can say, you know what, we're gonna make citizenship a regular thing. On an annual basis, those who don't want to get killed and have their children shot like Tamir Rice was shot, we're going to allow your child to grow up in a safe environment here in Ghana. We're going to allow your grandmother not to be shot in her own apartment, as happened in New York as well. So I think, Dr. Maulana, we have to give you your accolades. And even beyond that, we need to let people know that we're still here for you.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it would be remiss of me to sit here and not mention the collective effort in a chronological order of how we got to where we are right now. Let me just try to fast track this and go back to 1992. And I can call some names. The names in 1992 was the late Nana Akufo Itri, the husband of Sister Imakus. And Sister Imakus was present. We all had a very extraordinary meeting, and it was on the road to getting the right to return. At that meeting was the late Nana Kmtyw Akpan I, the founder of Accra. He made a very serious contribution towards the organization for us to come and get citizenship. So in 1992, we tried to submit a paper to Parliament, but it was not submitted. Years had unfolded from 1992, I believe, until late September 1999, that the government of Ghana at the present time asked us to put together a paper, and a paper requesting for Parliament to consider giving us the right to return. And Parliament was on recess. I distinctly remember this. And Parliament would be reseating the next day, and we had to get this particular. They either were going to be reseated or they were going to go on vacation, and we had to get it in before they vacated. So we submitted a proposal, and it was a collective effort of Nana Akufo Itri, the late Nana Akufo Itri, the husband of Imakus. It was Sister Imakus. It was the late Nana Kmtyw Akpan I. It was Ramel Moore, who is not in the country now. She was African American, who was the directress of the Du Bois Center. She and her husband, I forget his name, Moore, Mr. Moore. And it was us collectively with myself. We came together to submit that paper. And the long and the short of all of that was that we did not get in 1999 what we felt we should have gotten. What came out in the year 2000 under the new administration that came to power is the right of abode. This is the genesis of the right of abode. But as you know, and as we've said in the outset of this particular presentation, it didn't stop there. Our efforts continued. And of course, as we've said in the outset of this presentation, we eventually got what we had come to get. And that was the granting of Ghanaian full, inalienable citizenship rights as a full citizen of Ghana. And we got that on the 28th of December, 2016. And then subsequent to that, we also got another 126 on the 27th of November, 2019. So thank you again for your time and listening. May God bless you.
Now that you've heard from Dr. Obadeli Kambon and Dr. Maulana Maulana, we entreat you to follow the address and contact information on your screen and reach out. These people are the genuine article. These are the people who will be able to assist you in all that you endeavor to do, whether it be gaining citizenship or simply moving to Ghana. We are a community here. We reflect the makeup of the diaspora from the Americas to the Caribbean to the UK and beyond. There are several others within the community that have also championed the cause for our repatriation, and this message takes nothing from them. It's not about who did what first, it's about a genuine love of African people. We are here for you, the Ministry of the Future with Dr. Maulana, and Repatriate to Ghana with Dr. Kambon. You are always welcome home. Ashe.
Happy trip back to the promised land.